Predeal. It's strange as we come in in full circle, they say, or we navigate in the direction of the east, but then we find we're turning west and we come back somehow. Predeal is the reason for a major fight. I don't know how decisive, we'll have to see. A few days ago with a spouse. So it becomes once every 15 years a reason for pleasure and calamity. Voi termina somehow. So now I'm talking, but I have to give him a little shock because he will not stop, and until he will get to pick my brains off the floor, he's never going to stop. So it's me or him, and a little show in between the decisive fight. So let's concentrate on the other guy because he's nicer. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So that's why we're doing it this way, to have an interesting setback to compare and enjoy and laugh. And laugh now, okay? So this is 1918. 1918, yeah, right. 1985, let's say. I have no idea, but why not? And Predeal was the place where we used to travel with my father for him to recuperate. It was the period when he was sick. His sister Lelia was married. I have some episodes, if you look back to them, dedicated to father. Mention Lelia and some others as well. And she was married to this big shot from the Communist Party, head of the communist cell organization of the subway, Victor. So we had some connections, some money, some goodies, some food. We were getting some food from them once in a while. Alhamdulillah, and thank them. Gratitude. They wanted gratitude. We expressed it, but then we had enough, and after a while we became so fucking ungrateful that we should be sorry and apologize and do penance for a long time, because indeed we turned the tables around. I mean, they exaggerated for a while and perhaps in the attitude, but then we did the same in the other direction. I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. So we went to Predeal because they fixed some things for poor father and for us. And some things happened there, like in the deviant, perverse, sexually charged, testosterone-filled manner I spoke yesterday and in some of the episodes, because that was one important aspect for quite a few years, maybe the most important, surely the most important. So if I say the story of the adventures of that guy, I was thinking, reading others about this, Proust and others, I'm not actually telling my story because I have very little in common with that guy. So I could very well start speaking in the third person. It was just this little tiny bit of me, I guess. so I should be less ashamed. Because it was somebody else. Like Bruce another said, cells change in the body, in the mind, in the way we see things, to the point where we're not really even close to that man we were at the age of 20. So, some of the highlights of some days with Predeal, which we spent in Predeal, came back to me. I think I mentioned in one of the past short stories the trip in the forest, trip taken at night when I wanted to see if I'm brave, if I have the guts to see the ghosts, meet a bear, some wolves, or whatever. Dangerous, dark, scary. What's that? Horror show. Horror show. But he says something else in Clockwork Orange. Anthony Burgess. Babushkas, and he has this that comes with horror show. I've tried to check this out. Anyway, yeah, the trip was a success in some ways because it was scary, but I made it. Took 15 minutes or half an hour maybe. Half an hour sounds long. To Chopla through the Polish Trucker. That's path. I think the name of that path over there. But the other thing, terminal, was moving through the mind these days was a train trip from Bucharest to Predeal. And on the train, in the corridor, there was this girl who was my age, or one year younger, or 1 year older. Was, I think, 21. It was just after I succeeded in getting rid of virginity, so to say, and in full swing, so to say. I mean, I already had 20 lovers, sexual encounters, basically one night stands, more or less. We met a few times, but not stable in any case. So this girl was a rocket scientist compared with me, and I was still in the 8th grade, or I don't know, compared with her, with a rocket scientist, because she talked so much. She had this experience. If not, I mean, it's hard to tell if she really had this sexual baggage behind her or with her in the backpack, so to say. But the way she talked, I mean, it was mind-boggling. So this notion that some people say, I don't know if she believed that crap, I mean, it turns out to be crap. I didn't know. I had no idea at that point. I don't know if oral sex had happened yet. Probably not. Most surely not. And anyway, if it did, I mean, it wasn't illuminating. I mean, I didn't know anything about what she said. She said something like, those who indulge in this too much have something like they get a hunchback or something. I mean, I had some other stupid, as I said, shit, crap. And she went on, and that's what's left. I mean, one of the more excessive claims in a story. And I was so stupid in these matters, and maybe otherwise in general, that I didn't think I should get into with this girl. I think she was so sophisticated, such a difference was there between this ignorant fool and her that it blocked the pathways or something. I wasn't without courage. Indeed, what is to follow demonstrates this to an extent. But she was one character that I would meet later. What is it? Termina! 6-7 years later, I would be in a bar across the street from the American embassy at the time, somewhere there nearby, with Daniel. I'm calling Daniel one of the richest 50 guys here, and I was doing some pimping for him. It's more complex. I'll get back to this later. It wasn't really pimping, even if I can say that. I didn't have. I had the time actually. He didn't. He had the means. He was on the way to become one of the richest, and kept working and working. He was a tough guy, very good. Became rich on his own legs and brain, especially the brain, as opposed to the fucking idiots we have around, rich, but just because they got contracts to the state, they had contacts in general, and it was not a question of what they know, but who they know, and more or less, if not illegal, unfair. In an unfair way, they became rich. Well, this is one of the few, maybe the only one, who got there not by hook or by crook, but using his brain. So I was with him in the bar, and this sexually vibrant, sexually knowledgeable expert in sexual matters came or was in there already. The problem is that we talked a little because as I said, he was busy, and I was calling girls and say, okay, let's have a date, or let's go out tonight, but bring a friend, a woman friend, a girlfriend, not necessarily, but including a lesbian friend, if that's the case. Well, lesbian, I don't know, but bisexual, let's say. I mean, she would have to be interested in Daniel too. So I was doing this mating game. What's the word? What's the matchmaker? Not really matchmaker, because he wasn't there to find a wife, but to have some fun this evening, or maybe tomorrow, or and tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. So there was a period when I was doing that, alas. Well, I'll get back to the train ride tomorrow, I guess.